Yeah, well, I figured I should probably record something since I haven't recorded all week. And to be fair, it's been a pretty big week, I suppose, in certain respects. Considering that now everyone is fucking going crazy and the UK is, well, it's still part of EU, but it's not, and it's not a brilliant day to just be it's not a brilliant week to just be a person, to be honest. Just a member of the human race. But there you go. Anyway, stuff has happened, I suppose. I finally finished rendering Stellar Glow, so that's good, and I've managed to sort out all my crap. Because I hadn't actually moved any videos off of my E drive since I got the computer, I think. So I actually had a look at it, and it's like I've moved all of it over to my external, and I managed to fill up my external in one go, and I was like, huh. So I've ordered a new one. What's 5 terabytes? Like fucking when I got that external 1 terabyte, I was thinking, oh, that's pretty good. Fucking ain't worth shit now. I think that thing cost me like 120 quid. Back in the day, whereas I just got 5 terabytes for 100, something like that. Although I saw a few of them where it's like, oh, you could get up to 40 terabytes. I'm like, who the fuck has 40 terabytes of anything? Anyway, so there's that. I believe I just did all the playlists as well. So I've updated all that crap. So I'm almost ready to do my thingy. I'm just waiting on a few other things and general laziness. I was kind of hoping to at least have my job situation sorted, but no, the job I want doesn't exist at all. I'm not even trying to prioritize money, I'm trying to prioritize hours so that I can enjoy my life, but no one seems to offer the hours I want, and it's like, oh, could you just not? Please, could anyone? So there's that. And I had my first forklift accident on Friday, which was experience. It was fucking terrifying. And I've joined an illustrious club of people who have crashed into big sliding doors that go on the front of buildings. Like, it's not really a club I wanted to be a part of, although it could have been worse. I could have taken down all the racking, because that's surprisingly easy to do. But yeah, it was a thing. But everyone at my work was pretty cool about it. They were like, shit happens. And I'm like, ugh, it doesn't feel like it, though. When you're in that moment of like, oh, that's gone wrong. Basically, I don't know, I really haven't been feeling it all week. And on Friday, we had 9 pallets in of Chinese crap. And so I was like, I don't want to be that one dickhead who didn't show up for work. No one wants to be that one dickhead. Yeah, like when a big delivery comes in. So I made the point of trying to get more sleep and then showing up. Wow, really? P2 and PZ. Interesting. I'm rolling with Power Up Punch Derp because I like it, and I still like the Sylveon thing. Even though Zam's BL, which makes me sad. I miss my Zam. God, that thing was unfair. It did not belong in this tier at all. But yeah, I wasn't concentrating, and so I was loading something up onto another floor, and I didn't lower the forks when I reversed away, and I was reversing back out. And of course, when you're reversing, you're looking behind you, so you don't run people down. So it's like, when you've missed that step of lowering the forks, it's like, well, I'm not going to turn around and check, because it's kind of an instinctive thing that you're supposed to do. So I didn't. And the door was fully up, but like I say, the forks are raised high enough, and I clipped the top of the door that was just poking out, and I just clipped it, and the whole forklift just went, and like I say, I'm just sitting in it like, what do I do? 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 None of my co-workers were helpful in the slightest. My colleague, his approach to it was to walk round the corner after he heard this ginormous bang and go, and it's like, thank you, great, brilliant. I'm still like this, you're doing that, I don't know what's happened, I don't see shit. The fucking boss comes downstairs, I'm like, oh god, you have Dark Pulse, don't you? Be honest. You do. I'll be alright, it's fucking bulky Doublade. Hey, you could take a sacred sword anyway, so I don't know why you'd give a shit. I mean, he could go into Nido King and that would be fine, but I'm kind of banking that he doesn't. It's not brilliant, but I'll get on with it. I can at least protect. He now has guts, so he's going to fist me anally, but hey, we get on with it. I guess I go into Sylveon. So yeah, like, the damage I did to the door wasn't that... What I did was I basically, like, pushed it out a little bit. So, like, it was dented at the top. Like I say, if the door had been further down, it would have been way fucking, like, so much worse. And I think my forks were just at the right height, where if they were a bit higher, I would have just pushed it against the actual, like, metal beam that it's sort of supported on. So I was just at the wrong height, just to push the door out a little bit. But in theory, it was fine. Like, I pushed a couple of the rollers out that the door slides down on, and I dented it a bit. So I think the only problem would have been, like, the burglar alarm setting off. But unfortunately, again, you know, being at the particular state I was in, when you're like that, the first thing you think isn't, oh, I'm going to drive forward and then lower my hydraulics so I don't scrape down the door. It's, lower the hydraulics! The hydraulics are the problem. If I lower the hydraulics, I'll be okay. So I lower the hydraulics, the whole forklift just goes like that and then slams around a bit, but I was okay. No one bothered to ask until about 5 minutes later when one of my nicer, well, I like my co-workers, but one of them actually popped around like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Kind of. Yeah. But yeah, because I dragged the fucking hydraulics down the door, there was no initial damage, or it didn't look like there was initial damage, but I think we kind of figured it out later that, what I'd kind of managed to do was, oh god, because I dragged it down, I think, like, I put loads and loads of strain on the cable that raises and lowers it. It didn't snap initially. I'm assuming because the two bottom rollers were out, it just, like, held the door in place. But we didn't know that, so we looked at it and the fucking boss came down and, yeah, he doesn't like me anymore. I don't know if he liked me initially, but he doesn't like me anymore. Doesn't like me at all. So yeah, there was, like I say, we thought it was fine, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's all right, it happens." And me, the guy I work with, Jeff, said, "Oh yeah, my one was way worse than that. I like went through a door that was half down, and then went in through another door." And I'm like, "Oh, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. Then I haven't done much damage." And the guy that I work in goods in with said, "I did exactly the same thing, just coming in, so I hit the big metal support thing." And I'm like, "Okay, that's all right, fine." But yeah, so we fucking jiggered it, and as it turns out, we put the rollers back in, and the support cable snapped, so the entire door just slams down, like, just completely wrecks it. All the support cable flies off and fucking nearly hits someone. All the rollers on the door fucking pop out. The, like, the guidelines for the rollers, one of them shears off the wall. And I'm just like, why me? Why? What have I done to deserve this? So yeah, I ended up totaling the door, and like I say, everyone was still, oh, Chopal, yeah, fuck you, nice. I knew that would come in handy. So yeah, I was just like, the boss didn't bother to talk to me after that. He came down, like, before we were about to close up for the day, and I was like, hello. He didn't even look me in the eye, and I'm like, fair enough. It was like I say, everyone was really supportive even after that. Everyone was just like, shit happens, what are you gonna do? But there was, like I say, just that weird freakish moment when you're just like that, sitting in a forklift and thinking, this is just not right at all, this has gone wrong. I don't know, maybe even lowering the hydraulics the way I did, scraping down the door, might not have mattered too much because it's a counterbalance forklift, which means that basically the door was holding the forklift forward while this ginormous lump of concrete is trying to pull that bit down. So it could have been fucked either way, but it's just like, oh, brilliant. So that was my Friday. You know, you think, oh yeah, fucking Friday, brilliant. You know, go home, happy weekend. Oh. And I've now got to go into that tomorrow, so that'll be good. Always looking forward to that shit. It really was, like everything was going fine. I actually felt pretty on it as well. I was like, you know, alright, I did, like I say, I went home the day before, because I only came in the day before, because I barely got fucking any sleep, and I was like, you know, like, the delivery was supposed to happen on Thursday. So I went in, stuck it out for half a day, and then my colleague was like, oh no, it's coming in tomorrow now because of the bad weather, so I just left immediately and tried to sleep. And I came in on Friday thinking, I'm cool, I'm alright, I'm good to go. And obviously I wasn't, and it's just like, It is weird though. It's like for anyone who's had a car crash, not that you really, it's not the most fun moment of your life. I'm prepared to admit that, but it is that sort of odd thing of like when it's a car crash, because my colleague doesn't drive either. He only drives a forklift. So he is well, I think he's been in a car crash, but he's never been the driver of one. So I was discussing it with him, and I was saying the forklift one's got to be worse, surely. And he was like, "Well, no, I would have thought a car crash would be way worse." And like only car crash I've had is pretty dinky. I'm prepared to admit that it was like minuscule. Fuck all really happened. Just the skank I crashed into tried to fuck me in the arse. Like, oh, you fucking, I'm sorry, I need you to fucking, $5,000 call out for hitting me at 4 miles an hour. It's like, no. Why you do this to me? It's clever, I'll give him that. Actually, you know what? Fuck it, let's play it this way. Fine. I don't think it matters too much, I can at least agility my way out of it. Whatever. You're gonna run out of destiny bonds at some point, bucko. Oh, actually, that's really annoying. You've got quite the annoying set there, Chumley. I don't appreciate that. I might actually pass out to. Oh, no, I think it has to be to Porygon, but I don't really want to pass out to Porygon. Yeah, you better fucking run, you prick. Either way, you're going to be slower than everything, and once you Mega Evolve, don't kill me with a Heavy Slam. Shit. Alright, well, I am max defense. I was kind of hoping I'd live that. Obviously not. That was stupid. Good to know. We're on board. Yeah, it's fine. It's a thing. I'll deal. Yeah, I played that poorly. Oh, well. But yeah, it's like, when you fucking have a car crash, there's a certain degree of, oh, whose fault was it? Because you're kind of responsible for you. I mean, yeah, alright, like, you are responsible for the safety of people around you, but if you crash into someone else, as long as you haven't hit a person, there's a certain, like, oh, whose fault was it? Oh, had this happen, this happened. When you're in a forklift, the fucking first rule you are taught completely is, you are in charge of the safety of yourself and everyone else around you. If you fuck up, it's on you. Be all, end all, no dicking around. And it's like, I don't know. It's when you've actually reached that point of like, oh yeah, no, I'm confident enough to have this accident. It's like, oh, it's one of the things where you sort of look at yourself and think, you have been quite the pillock. Yeah, it could have been a hell of, like say, that someone was up on a ladder putting the rollers back in, and it's like, that could have been so much fucking worse. He could have seriously hurt himself. It's one of those things you just think, oh, fuck, man. Why are you taunting me? Why are you... Why are you taunting me, sir? It's obviously especially defensive, it's just there's not an awful lot to do here. He's gonna have recover. Natch, he has to. Oh, you got liquid ooze. Yes. Yeah, makes sense. Can't really argue with that, although you took that fucking poorly. There's not an awful lot to do here, I have to say. If my derp was fucking guts, I'd be alright, but I'm Iron Fist, because it's sort of guts' power and potential, and Iron Fist's power right now. I kind of prefer it. Oh god, I need to pivot out into... It would be Porygon, but he's got fucking Sticky Web up, because I'm a bit of a pleb. I guess it's Porygon Z. It's the only thing with the power that I really want to take a burn. Like that. Although I think that's going to kill me. Yeah. Yeah, this has just gone poorly. Ah, yeah. I hit try attack. I don't know why. Yeah, no, this has just gone bad. Well, I suppose I can at least just Brave Bird the world now. There's a silver lining in there somewhere. Fuck off. You don't fuck with Crobat, buddy. But yeah, anyway, there's that. So, if any of you have had a forklift accident, dunno, share your experiences. Because it's that odd thing, though. It's like, everyone fucking tells me, it's just like, you know, what I was generally told is, it's alright, you know, you've had your first accident, it's done now, you were never going to be perfect to begin with, you may as well get on with that fact. And it's like, I guess. Doesn't make me fucking feel any better, though. I hope it's gonna talk. No! Aha, you fool! Ah, fuck you. Fine, perfect, brilliant, wonderful. I can get behind that wholeheartedly. Alright, fine. It's toxic damage. Although you could argue I didn't really need to care about that, but there you go, it is what it is. Yeah, I can't really do anything about that. But yeah, so that was that. And yeah, we left there, well, we voted to leave the EU, and amazingly, I can't believe it, but it turns out you can't trust politicians. Who knew, right? Who fucking knew? I didn't. I thought that they were all really wonderful people who really cared about our well-being. But obviously not, because every single one of them, for Brexit at least, has just backtracked and been like, no, every promise we made is a fucking complete blatant lie. Sorry, we didn't mean it, but we did though. Like, we did. And it's like, and now people are coming out like, oh, fucking, like, basically everyone who's voted for Brexit has been demonized completely, and it's just like, really? I get why I personally wanted Remain, because, well, you've got two really shitty, just not especially brilliant things to pick from. So, you kind of, well, the way that I chose to look at it, because I distance myself from politics as much as possible. Like, sometimes you can't, it's unavoidable, but I do my damnedest to just ignore it and hope it goes away. That, you might say that's, well, a bit of a, sort of childish way of looking at it, but it's just, I'm of the viewpoint of, I can't be asked to care. They give me no reason to care other than my own well-being, and I'm fine. Balls! Oh, I thought he'd switch out. Oh well. What are you gonna do? I kind of thought that he would, yeah. Whatever. It's a thing. But yeah, so you might look at that as a, well, you know, that's a very childish point of view. You should, you know, certainly care because it does affect your well-being. It's like, yeah, I try and distance myself from it because it's just, I mean, especially for fucking the Brexit thing. That was probably the biggest, most embarrassing shit show. Like, again, like, if we even disregarding the fact that now that we voted to leave, we are going to have to renegotiate trade with other countries. Who the fuck is going to want to take us seriously? It's embarrassing. Just watching these fucking old foppish retards like, oh, if we leave, fucking immigration will go down. Oh, if we stay, then at least it's, you know, it's not as bad as leaving. Oh, it's just like, no, the reason that, like, voting was below 75% was because I'm fairly certain even a good portion of the people who voted had no fucking idea what they were voting for. Because none of them actually bothered to get on our level and just sort of think, you know what? Is our country full of very smart people? Not especially. We do have a lot of dumbards, and I would happily include myself as a dumbard. But you know what you do to get the vote you want? Fucking, just, like, especially for Cameron. No one fucking likes Cameron. He can't honestly believe people still like him. You're scarfed, I forgot your OU. Sorry, I'm a pillock. I immediately thought Megametric and thought, aha, loudspeed it. Obviously not. If you're David Cameron, you have to understand that no one fucking likes... There's no fucking... He can't honestly have woken up every day in that debate and thought, yeah, people like me, people trust me. I haven't backtracked on anything I've fucking said. It's like, no, David Cameron was probably the one reason why Brexit won, because I swear about 20% of those votes were just fuck David Cameron, and we got what we wanted, he's leaving. That's the one good thing that's come out of it, except he's going to have to be replaced by another dullard. It's like, oh great, doesn't really help anything, has it? Oh god. But yeah, it is an uneducated, you know, there's an uneducated, sorry, I had to stop and get back into my train of thought there. The way that I chose to look at it was, you're basically, or from what I saw, was you're basically voting for two different bunches of old bastards to make the rules. Now, considering that the Conservatives, and Cameron in particular, seem to be doing everything in their power to try and just annoy people into submission, the way that I decided to look at it, again, uneducated, I didn't take the time to educate myself, I didn't actually vote because I didn't take the time to educate myself. I knew I would have voted Remain, but I would have voted Remain on the basis of the more old farts you put in front of a decision, the longer it will take to make, and maybe they might end up agreeing on it because it's for the benefit of everyone. Doesn't always work out that way. Certainly doesn't. I will grant you that. There is, you know, plenty of evidence to say that's not how it works, and I understand that completely. But it's like, do I really want to leave the British government in the hands of every decision about our country? No. When they've proven to be completely fucking inept at everything, yeah, I really want them in charge. I really want them to have complete control over everything that fucking happens. So, yeah, I would have certainly gone for the let's put more old, weird, stupid, out-of-touch people in front of this as fucking possible, so that less gets done. Does it delay the inevitable? Yes. But what else can you do? There really isn't an awful lot to do, and it's a bit depressing. This is why I stay away from it. It's fucking depressing bollocks. But yeah, from the sounds of things, fucking everyone in charge of Brexit has basically just gone, aha, you remember all that money we were going to put into the NHS? Well, we can't. Even though that was one of our main draws, because everyone likes the NHS, and we don't understand why we're canning it so hard and screwing every single doctor over as hard as possible, so we'll back that. Oh wait, we can't, because reasons? I mean, even as a lie, my sister was very involved, and so she spent an awful lot of time just sort of saying, this will happen, and this will happen, and that's why this is stupid, and that's why that's stupid. I'm like, okay. I could care less, to be honest. But, even her explanation of it was actually quite good, which I thought, which was that if we leave the EU, we're going to have to renegotiate trade with people and trade agreements because Britain exports sweet fuck all. In fact, the other thing that I saw was the major partner that was going to buy Tata Steel, which is, you know, kind of a large portion of our industry, has actually gotten cold feet because of Brexit. And it's like, Jesus, the fucking working class was supposed to be the ones who voted for Brexit, and you've just dicked yourselves in the arse considerably. It's like, do you not think that one through? I know a lot of companies did have things in place for Brexit, but it's like, you really thought that loads of big companies were just going to stick it out? Why? What would be the point? What's the potential gain other than loyalty? I don't know. It's one of those fucking bizarre things to me. But it's the choice we made, and it's how we made it, so there you go. Damn it! Piss. Fuck's sake, Porygon. You aren't no Alakazam. I could have baton passed into that, encored him, and won. On the spot. I mean, really, what stops that? Nothing. Oh, I miss him so. I might just go fucking try it in OU. I'll probably just have as much fun with it. Because it's horrible and scabby and really shouldn't be allowed, but it is, so there you go. Oh, you cheeky dick. Well played, sir. Well played. I didn't even see that one coming. Let's go with Sceptile, because it's quick. But yeah. I don't know. As I said, I am uneducated, so I really don't know. But it's one of the things, like, I would actually assume that... there's a petition going around right now saying that there should be a revote, and the reasons that everyone says a revote is required is because it was below 75% of British population voting on it, and the result was close enough. Like, it was pretty much a 51-49 split that people were saying, well, I'm sorry, this vote represents half of the country's wants, just slightly. And it's like, alright, the 75% thing is utter dog shit. That has no bearing on it. Again, it's like, no, the very few people actually tried to get the proper information out, and even when they did get the proper information out, the general result of the proper information was, anything could happen no matter what you do. I guess Remain because, well, it's better than nothing. Like, you know, I think that was the general consensus of clever people who tried to educate the nonces, which was that either way is a shit show, but Remain is at least functional, and at least we stand together with other people in the shit show. And I'm like, okay, it's fine, I guess. It sort of makes sense in a bizarre, not really making any sense sort of way. You're scarfed, aren't you? Or Carmine, I don't know, whatever works. But yeah, it's like, I can see why it went 50-50, because no one really fucking knew what the outcome of it was. The way that or the reason that I think that I'd actually quite like to see a revote, to be honest. Considering that Cameron being on the side of Remain was probably one of the reasons that it didn't get voted. And now that every single one of the Brexiters has basically said, oh no, we're a bunch of lying cunt faces who have absolutely fuck all idea of what we're doing. We just wanted, we wanted Brexit, so we lied. I'm fairly certain Remain at this point would probably win by 60%. I'd wager you'd probably still have quite a few of them saying, no, we really wanted Brexit, and then another large portion are saying, like, oh god, why did we vote? But I don't know. I can't imagine they would do a revote though, because it's one of those. I think Scotland wants one, because they're like, we don't want to leave Europe. Fuck off. But it is one of the things where it's just like, well, if you do a revote, what's the point of voting? At the end of the day, it was two different groups of people trying to convince you to vote for them, and it happened. You voted. What do you want? You can't just like, oh, we didn't get the result we wanted. Revote. What happens if they vote it again? Are you going to piss and moan then? How exactly is that going to work? So it's just really, really bizarre. Like, again, half of me wants to see what a revote would turn out to be, because I'm fairly certain Remain would smash it into the ground. But on the other hand, a revote defeats the point of voting, so I'm sort of like, no, don't. Even though I lost. It's a thing. It makes more sense not to have a revote, for the sake of keeping voting as something sort of, well, not sacred, because it's a load of bollocks, but, you know, worth something, tangible, representing a side. I think it's just smarter not to revote. I was quite impressed Cameron didn't immediately veto it, to be honest. Instead, he just backed off like a pussy, even though it's his own fucking idea and it's his own fucking fault, really. I mean, come on, I don't know how he got in for a second term. No one fucking likes David Cameron. He's a foppish dick. But why wasn't his first act when he got re-elected immediately to go, yes, right, we're doing this, because that's you're going through on your promise? That should have been, you know, his first move, because then it's like, alright, people are already on the high of voting him back in, and considering how many politicians backtrack immediately as soon as they're voted into the place they wanted to get voted into, that would have set a good, you know, sort of precedent. It's like, I'm voted in, I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. Here you go, vote. And that would have made sense, because it would have been at a decent peak of popularity. Instead, you fucking let it just languish for like a year and a half. Fucking got done for tax evasion. It's just like, you literally couldn't have set the vote up at a worse... Why didn't you just crawl off into a corner? Instead of like, oh, I'm the most vocal party of the fucking Remain, or vocal part of the Remain group. It's like, no, go away, you're ruining it for everything. Let fucking Corbyn do it. People sort of like him. But either way, the way that I look at it, because I know, like, even though with all the reasons being thrown around, and now fucking Remainers have turned into the exact poo-flinging monkeys that they're saying are all racist. I mean, really, like, that's more disgusting to me than us leaving. Like, leaving the EU is a thing. It was a possibility. The fact that Remainers weren't vocal before the vote showed extreme cockiness, I thought. Like, just assuming, oh, well, Remain makes sense, so we'll stay in. It's like, no, because one's a dick who is just spouting doom-saying nonsense, which David Cameron was. I don't think I heard anything about a promise of, oh, if we stay in, this'll happen. It was, if we stay in, it doesn't get any worse. And it's like, no one's going to gravitate. A, it's Cameron, but B, no one's going to gravitate to that. As a politician who actively got a second term by lying through his fucking teeth, you would have thought he'd know that. It's really bizarre. It's like, how did you get in again? When you just lied and then backtracked. That's exactly what Boris Johnson did. He lied constantly, over and over again. He used basic, simple facts. He made basic, simple statements. When you expanded those statements, you found out that he was wrong and lying. But his statements were so simple and reached the heart of people who actually sort of care about their country, but not enough to look into it. Of course Brexit was going to win. You've got, again, like, if we're working on the theory that most of England are dullards and don't really know what's going on, especially considering that I think Google reported on the night of the vote, like, after the polls have been closed, that massive amounts of search on what is the EU? What is Brexit? What would happen if England left the EU? Apparently that was, like, the most searched thing on Google, and it's like, a lot of you just ticked a box, didn't you? But yeah, it's like, just on a purely based standpoint, you've got Boris Johnson, who's a funny dude. He is, like, you don't take him seriously. No, but he at least seems like a bloke. And we do love a good bloke in this country, which is another reason why David Cameron should have just ran off into a corner and said nothing. But he's just a bloke, and he was saying things that sounded good. Was it believable? No. When you expanded it, was it true? No. But again, like, it was a basic, statement of, if we do this, then this will happen. If we do this, then this will happen. Good things. Associate Brexit with good, and funny, and blokiness, and humour, whereas Remain was associated with a dick who was just doomsay. It's like, which one are people going to naturally gravitate? Like, even no exposure to what the EU means, which one would you naturally gravitate towards? Gravitate towards Brexit, because they're promising things, they're saying things, they're doing politician stuff, they're lying constantly, but you've got to try and trust them, because you have to. That's where you're at. This is why politicians just kind of suck big floppy dick. Because you have to trust them, and they tend to lie all the time. But again, that's kind of where I'm at with it. And Cameron, like I say, Cameron's best move would be, it's again, like, with all the doomsaying shit, even he was wrong on a lot of it. Like, a lot of what Remainers have said would happen have happened. But on the other hand, it's sort of like, if Cameron had actually tried to appeal to people a bit and just say, right, we're going to lay it out, I don't fucking know what will happen, many things could happen, and then just, like I say, just fuck off into a corner, just go play with, I don't know what you'd have, train set maybe, don't know, maybe some Duplo, that might, just, it really does bewilder me how a man that got back in for a second term just lying through his teeth and rattling off all kinds of bollocks, and it's like the one promise you stick to fucks your entire career right up the arse because you didn't play it like a politician. Incredible. But yeah, so that's the shit show right now. I the only reason I'm starting to pay more attention to it now is because I find it quite entertaining. Just Remainers are now, swear, like, posting pictures of themselves, like, swearing at their British passport, and like, oh, everyone who voted Brexit are racist. It's like, no, they're not. They had to look at it from a point of view, and that point of view was whether the EU has actually affected their lives, and I probably guess it wouldn't have done. Does it prevent a lot of stuff? Yes. Does it make a lot of things happen? Not really. When you maintain a state of constant average, of course you're going to want something different. And we haven't done it in a while, so why not? Is it probably the wrong decision? Yes. Yes. But I can see why people would want change. Yeah. Anyway, that is my uneducated take on it, as I said. I'm not... many smarter people than I are having discussions over why this happened, as they should. I don't really have a place in the discussion since I didn't vote, and I try not to care, but I felt like I should give my point of view. Just an outsider looking in on the poo-flinging monkeys that occupy the circus, because, fucking Christ, it's actively embarrassing. It's insane. Oh, I think my cat wants to come in. She's probably hungry. Anyway, so yeah, that was my week, I guess. But yeah, I do sympathise with Brexit voters who are now all labelled as racist. I would be the only part of that I would find interesting is I'd quite like to see what the polls were for white Brexit voters and just any other race. Like, I know it's not good to sort of split them up into divisions, but it would be quite interesting to see how that affected it, because I know, from what I've seen of it, all the racist Brexit voters were sort of like, oh, kick all them dirty people out of our country, let's claim Britain back. But what you're really saying is, let's claim Britain back for the white people. I would genuinely be interested to see how many people of mixed race or other races actually voted for Brexit. because, like I say, a lot of it was just like, oh, if we kick them out, it's like, yeah, but a lot of them are English and have English, you know, are of English nationalities and were born in this country. Yes, their skin colour is different from yours, but that's not what we're talking about, is it? We're talking about the identity of being British versus immigration, basically. Which won't really matter, but either way, I would genuinely like to see that. Probably won't, but there you go. Anyway, before I say dumb things, whatever, I hope you enjoyed my take on that, I guess. I don't know if it was really informative. Probably not, but it is, I don't know, it's a viewpoint. Everyone else seems to be throwing their hat into the ring, may as well. And, yeah, if any of you have had a forklift accident at work, feel free to tell me about it. Was yours worse than mine? Totaling a door? I don't know, like I say, if you go look up videos on YouTube, actually, of forklift accidents, like, where, like, entire racking systems, like, if you just knock it, some of them are fake, but some of them are legit, and it's fucking terrifying. Like, I can't imagine being in a forklift and seeing all the racking just coming down. I mean, this is why forklifts have massive, like, reinforced bars above your head, because it's just like, all you can do is sit in there and pray. It's all you've got. You just gotta take it on the chin and hope you survive. And yeah, anyway, hopefully I can sort out my project thingy that I'm doing. Hopefully you will enjoy it when it does show up. I think I'm going to finish uploading Republic Commandos first. I'm probably just going to try and pump that out over the next week, and then once that's done, we'll move back to Stellar Glow, and yeah, hopefully the thing will be ready to go. Because, fuck me, I've been planning it since fucking, what, October last year? It's almost been a year, man. Jesus. Anyway, I hope you've all enjoyed. I'll see you all in a bit. Peace.